care about people not liking me. I be trying to make it worse once I find out. I'm petty like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Ant Money Experience, the greatest podcast in the world. The podcast like no other, and ain't gonna never be like no other. And that intro is really the way I live my life. What is up with my people? Glad to see y'all. Mad I missed last week's birthday episode, but it was a lot going on. We'll talk about that when we jump into If It Bleeds, It Leads. But I hope y'all having a great week. I know my week has been busy. Work has been kicking my ass, but that's neither here nor there. You are here for the unofficial start of the weekend, and I hope y'all enjoying yourselves. I know I've been enjoying the month of May. May and December are the busiest months of the year for me. What up, Scooty? Man, what up, good brother Ron? As y'all can see, because of all the excessive partying, I barely have a voice, but we here today anyway. Before we go any further, I would like to thank y'all for joining me on the most dangerous podcast network in the world, the big exclusive network. If you got a podcast idea, if you need your podcast curated, you need a home, you want to broadcast on a bigger spectrum, come on over to the winning team gang. You know we got room for all the folks, but also if you are here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the network. Working on some things. Listen, don't be caught hearing about what happened. Be here to experience it. I should trademark that. Also, make sure you get yourself an exclusive membership so you can get that exclusive content. Honestly, you sound like you one of them 10,000 people in Philly with an STD. First of all, I'm mad that you only think it's 10,000. But that's neither here nor there. Before we go any further, a message from our sponsors. Well, if you would like to be a co-host on the Ant Money Experience, like the two guests you see here right now, make sure you inbox me, DM me. Ladies, you know how to get to the front. Also, if you would like your business initiative, anything you got going on, spotlight it, make sure you inbox or DM me as well. But with that being said, let's jump into that. If it bleeds, it leads. Okay, producer, bring up my first post, please. That young lady right there you see in the picture is the fruit of my looms, my pride and joy, my baby girl, my should have been junior because she act just like me. Baby girl had her prom last Friday, and honestly, that's the reason why I didn't have a show. I knew I had to be up super early, and I had to do running around for her prom. When I tell you, she stressed me out to the very end, not only making sure everything was right, but keeping her mother and her apart because they damn sure was ready to go to war. And she is not an aggressive, but she don't back down. Lord have mercy. But that was the end result. Beautiful day. The young man she went with, great young man. He was not a YN. Um, Cece is set to go to Virginia Commonwealth University this summer, and I can't wait to see where this young lady goes in life. But with that being said, producer, bring out my next post, please. Rest in peace to LGP Qua. Tragically, his life was taken from him this past Sunday, and I just want to say that was the saddest shit in the world. Ron, that's about 2 hours away from me. But I mean, rest in peace to that young man, such a positive young man. had a great message. I mean, always appeared to be doing stuff for the community, whether it be book bag drives, just different things for the community. And I learned through these things from other people. I never seen him post those things and say like, "Yo, I'm out there doing this, that, and the third." Just a all around good young boy. And these young boys, yo, y'all gotta do better. Killing him, snatching his chain, and he was only in the area because he was going to say Happy Mother's Day to his grandmother. That's some really sad shit. To those young bulls that took LGP Quad's life, you are a crumb bum. But
You're a crumb creep. I want to fight you. But you don't have the courage. You're a real crumb bum.
rest in peace to that young man. Prayers out to his family. Philly, we gotta do better. Excuse me. But with that being said, producer, my next clip, please. Legendary rapper Schoolie D inducted into the Philadelphia Music Alliance Walk of Fame. If you are unfamiliar with the Walk of Fame is, it's basically the same concept as Hollywood, except it's Philly. So if you downtown Philly, you'll see stars on the ground with different Philly legends, idolized. I don't think that's the word I was looking for, but we're gonna roll with it. But if you are unfamiliar with who Schoolie D is, that is the godfather. I would say creator, but I can't verify that. But definitely the godfather of gangster rap. At the time he was doing it, they called Ron. I knew you didn't know who Schoolie D was, but looking at my Gucci is about that time. But no, glad that Schoolie D getting his proper due respect because a lot of people don't know that gangster rap started in Philly with Parkside 5-2. Um, Philly legend. Yo, Ron shows me every day like Ron wasn't sitting around with his uncles listening to the he was definitely not doing that. But with that being said, producer, bring up my next topic, please. Terry Brunk, better known to wrestling fans by his ring name Sabu, has died at 60. Rest in peace, Sabu, one of my favorite wrestlers. I knew him before he got to the WWE by his antics in the ECW. I've seen him be thrown up against a ring of barbed wire. I've seen him set on fire, thrown through multiple tables, multiple chairs broken over his head. Sabu was one of my favorite because he was very extreme in his fighting style, and he would be flying around just nigga who uncles wasn't in the street, please. But rest in peace to Sabu, definitely one of my all-time favorites. Rest in peace, my guy. Well, no. With that being said, Tory Lanez wish you speedy recovery. If you have not heard, Tory Lanez was stabbed multiple times at the facility he's at. I don't get into conspiracy theories to say it happened because of this, it happened because of that, but Tory Lanez has had a crazy week because the bodyguard of, I believe her name is Kinsley, I believe it's Kinsley, the former best friend to Meg Thee Stallion, her bodyguard came out and said that Tory Lanez, Kelsey, that's what it was. Tory Lanez did not fire that gun at Meg Thee Stallion. That's not a surprise. 4 pieces of DNA on a gun and none of them matched them. I don't care what they say. When you fire a gun, you're going to have gun residue on you. Why the fuck didn't he have any gun residue on him? Straight bullshit. Meg Thee Stallion, you stood nothing to gain out of putting this man in jail innocently. You could have just not said nothing. You got your friend. Well, we knew that the friend did it because the friend took immunity. You only take immunity if you're guilty of something. But Kelsey, Meg, y'all can share this one. Y'all some crumb bums.
You're a crumb creep. I want to fight you. But you don't have the courage. You're a real crumb bum.
Gonna put that man in jail because he was blowing both of y'all backs out. Now to the topic of the week, the topic that everybody has been talking about, the most famous case since the Meg and Tory Lane situation. The P. Diddy trial has started as of Monday. And if you have not been tuned in, it is some nasty ass details that's been coming out of this. The first witness that took the stand was an escort that they apparently found off of Craigslist. This escort was instructed to pee in Cassie's mouth. What the actual fuck? And the details of this shit are nasty. I was like, yo, I can't wait for the details to come out. As these details start coming out, I'm like, all right, I don't think I want to hear none of this. But if you have not been tuned into the trial at all, I want you to know this trial is not going the way I thought it would go. P. Diddy definitely looked like he has a fighting chance in this case, which is insane. The prosecutors are carrying this case like my 18-year-old daughter with no law experience would carry this case. From here on out, I'm gonna have a woman sign NDAs. I'll be damned if I'm explaining to people in 2048 why I spit in some girl's mouth. But Ryan, spitting in some girl's mouth is not Diddy going to beat the case. It's really looking like Diddy going to beat this case. I mean, Ryan, if you like to spit in girl's mouth, that's just your thing. I mean, I've done it before. It didn't do anything for me personally. You fucking freaky ass 69 guy out there spitting at people. Spraying your DNA. Pause. But Diddy definitely look like he has a fighting chance at beating this case. Um, the case gets crazier by the ooh. Cassie Cassie's portion in this is very interesting because she definitely looks more of a willing participant. Now, both sides have already agreed that domestic violence took place. That's undeniable. We've seen the videos. They're showing pictures of her where she has marks and bruises everywhere. But the first the first witness that took the stand said that she was instructing him in how to pee in her mouth. I was like, what the fuck? Now, on some kind of level, I do believe Stockholm syndrome was involved, but Stockholm syndrome only comes to play when you're being held captive. Cassie was not being held captive. And just like she left, she could have stayed going. Ugh. Unpopular opinion, but I'm not victim shaming. I'm just saying, Shorty, you had a play in this. But back to my original point, the prosecutors are not doing a good job proving this case. They are really just proving that Diddy had a bunch of weird ass, freaky ass kinks, but they are not showing any sex trafficking, no drug dealing. They're just showing that he's a freak and he's a psycho, but definitely haven't seen anything that indicates he has been sex trafficking. But my next topic is one of my favorite topics right now. Producer, play my video, please.
Why you trying to? You know what time it is. Drew Hills, you already know. Get up. You gotta learn how to control your emotions.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the latest internet trend, the Drew Hill, the Drew Hills. So if you are unfamiliar with that song, it comes from Drew Hill's first single, Tell Me. And if you are an R&B fan at all, you've seen the video, you've seen their performances where they do the little dunk, dunk, the little hop step thingy. And that was the first video I've seen. It's a viral trend at this point, so everybody's doing it. What up, though? What up, D? Pause. That sound crazy. But basically, this is the latest trend where instead of kids getting ass whippings, they just doing Drew Hillies. I think that's what they calling it. Drew Hillies. And the first video I saw was the first video I saw doing this. Now every Facebook comedian is doing it. Dog, it is hilarious. One of my friends told me that was funnier than me making my daughter sweep up the rain. And I'm all for punishments that get the point across, inflict a little pain, but isn't creating any psychological damage to the child. And that's what we see here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. I mean, one of my friends was like, man, she was a fan of pop music. She said she was going to make her daughter start doing the Britney Spears twirl. I said, I don't know if you want to do that. Your daughter might end up throwing up everywhere. But I appreciate this trend. But I'm glad that I have the audience I have. If you guys know, like I end every If It Bleeds, It Leads producer, play my funny video of the week.
Should have recorded.
No, fuck off. Fuck off.
She just hit Corey with the car.
Help me up. I'm not playing right now. Y'all think I'm playing? I'm not. Right now. Fuck you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was an incident that happened when me and my gang was out enjoying a lovely Sunday night at an establishment, and that particular situation happened. And when I tell you, it was funny as shit. My man's was going. Wait. As you can see, that's my guy, my bro, Corey LA in the comments. We were out, we were having a good time. He walked up, said something to a young lady, as in like, hey, good night, we had fun, it was lit. That young lady then, I guess, meant to put her foot on the brake and accidentally put it on the gas. And I just heard a tap. I turned around. My guy was on the floor fighting for his motherfucking life. Yo, funny as hell. No, no actors were hurt in the making of this video, but when I tell you it's a funny ass video, I ended up passing out at his crib on his couch. Woke up the next day. His brother came in, showed us the video, because also I had no idea that that was being recorded until I saw it the next day. It had over 5,000 likes, had about 500 comments, was shared 5,000 times. We went viral off of that one. I can't take credit. Corey went viral off of that one. Woo! But yo, the comments were hilarious. If you follow Southside Jew on Instagram, if you're not following Southside Jew, go follow my guy. Definitely a funny social media influencer. But you got to go to his page, see that video, look at the comments. The comments, whenever I see a funny video, I'm not really focused on the video. If it's funny, I go right to the comments, because I know the comments going to do the video so much more justice every time. But with that being said, producer, let's, god damn, one of my neighbor's dogs out here going crazy. Yo, my ass crack went viral is wild. But producer, with that being said, let's jump into that, if it please. I'm sorry. Let's jump into that lounge talk. Yo, my ass crack went viral is crazy. You know, I'm glad that that just happened to Corey because we got a group chat that we just share Instagram videos back and forth. And somebody posted a video of Drewski earlier, and it's a video of when he was a kid. And I tried to be funny, and I went up there and I was like, "Oh shit, Corey, you glue up." He said, "Nigga, did you just call me cute?" What I've learned about hanging out with my friends as an adult, sometimes the joke's gonna be flying, they're gonna be coming your way. The more you fight the joke, the worse of a predicament you're gonna be in. If you just let the joke fly, you live to fight another day. Because I couldn't say anything to him in that group chat at all today. I tried to make another joke. He said, "Fuck out of here. You called me cute earlier." And I couldn't say anything back to that either. I just let the joke fly. But since I have you guys here, I saw a post that went viral on one of those gossipy sites. But my wine cooler topic for the day is, what is your go-to movie when you just having like a bad day? I don't want to call it a comfort movie because that's kind of soft. What is your go-to movie? Like, man, I had a crazy ass day. I just need me a movie that's going. Let me watch my favorite movie. For me, it's going to be one or the other. If it's the weekend, I'm going to watch Project X. That is definitely one of my favorite movies. I think it's the greatest party movie of all time. It's like during the week and it's a badass, just like I work with my ass today type of day. I'ma play Menace to Society. Menace to Society is one of my favorite movies. My mother was mortified when she found out at my grandmother's house. Me and my cousin was waking up to watch this every day before we watched Saturday cartoons. The Wrong Missy is a great one. Actually, Corey, I think it was you that suggested I watched it. And I was just like, The Wrong Missy, it looked kind of weird. He was like, "Nah, dog, I laughed until my stomach hurt." So I watched it, and I mean, I completely like when I saw it, it was at the perfect time because I just needed like something to laugh at. It was like early phases of the pandemic, but I was like, you know what? Let me just watch right now. I was staying at my mom's house during the pandemic for the most part, staying there in Corey couch. But my mom walked in the room and was like, "I wish you shut the fuck up. Is this movie really that funny?" I said, "Mom, I promise you, watch this movie later on." But The Wrong Missy, that was a good one. Harlem Nights, I think Harlem Nights is underrated. Harlem Nights is definitely a movie that is timeless. I think the way that we hold Coming to America up there, we should hold Harlem Nights a little bit to the same level. I don't know if it's because Coming to America has an undertone love story to it, but we definitely should hold Harlem Nights up a lot higher than what we do. Primal Fear, I'm not familiar with that one. Ron said I got a few. Man on Fire. Man on Fire was a good one. Definitely a good. I think that's the Denzel one. Because there's another movie that I always get it mixed up with. But Man on Fire was a good one. 7 Pound. 7 Pound was a weird ass movie. I went to see 7 Pound on a date, and we both left like, so 7 Pound is a weird pick me up movie, Ryan. D says one of my favorite movies too. Wait, one of my favorite movies too? I'm not Oh, okay. One of my favorite movies too, regarding one of the last ones we said. And The Hangover. The Hangover is one of the greatest just bro movies ever. I mean, one, 2, 3 was so, but 1 and 2 for sure, great movies. And Ryan, how the fuck have you never seen Coming to America, bro? Every week, Ryan shows me like I don't think Ryan be trolling because I got another homie that really, when we be having these conversations about certain movies, he be like, yeah, nah, I never seen it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Matter of fact, since we on the top Step Brothers, that's a good one. Since we on the topic, me and my friends had talked about this a couple weeks ago. We won't spend too much time on it, but what's some movies that you feel like everybody black should have saw? I'm gonna say Coming to America is up there. I think everybody black should have saw Friday. On another, like on an old school type of time, I think everybody black should have saw Coolie High. If not, I would suggest you go there. I don't think you should have saw this, but I would suggest you watch it. Cornbread Earl and Me. The Mac is another one that I think everybody should see. Boys in the Hood, actually, Boys in the Hood being the first hood classic movie, should definitely. Now, Corey, I was with you till you said that. Corey, The Color Purple is one of the worst movies in the world. And every time I've tried to watch it, I've always turned it off. The Wiz, for sure. I think everybody black should have saw The Wiz. Everybody black should have saw Roots. Now, I didn't see Roots until I was an adult, but I sat there and I watched it, and it was actually a great depiction of slavery in the different aspects and the story of being in Africa and coming to America, no pun intended. That was a great one. That was a great one. I definitely agree. The Color Purple is awful. And when I found out that it was directed by Steven Spielberg, it made perfect sense because why are we letting a white man tell our black story? We gotta do better. But also I remember one of my friends had made a post and said, why do all of our black movies have to involve trauma? That's why I'm happy to see movies like Sinner where it's a I haven't seen it yet. I plan on seeing it next week. I got a crazy weekend coming up. So next week I'm definitely going to make sure I spend the time to see it because I definitely, first of all, the director is a great individual as far as the things pause as far as the work that he's put out there in cinematic form. Um, Ryan, I'm not gonna fucking do this with you. You know what, Ryan? I need you to host next week with me so I can just air you out. Pause. Um, Juice is white. How do you have people in the video? Oh, don't worry. When I get to my when I say my Leon's Talk topic, then I'm going to put the link up there. We can sit up here and we can discuss it. Ryan Coogler, I didn't want to get his name wrong, but he is definitely on Ghost status as my utmost respect. Whenever he drops something, pause. I'm gonna make sure that I definitely watch. John Q was a great movie. John Q was not really given the respect that it deserved. That was a really good one. But honestly, I'm a Denzel bias, so but with that being said, let's jump into my Leon's Talk topic for this week. Producer, play my clip, please.
I can't be like you're like a good baby father and like a good man. Like I haven't seen it for me in my life personally. Growing up. So I was just like, hey, I'm gonna be the best, father I can be for you, and I'm gonna be here for you. I'm gonna be your friend and all of that. Right. But I'm not gonna act like I can be with you and maybe break your heart or maybe ruin this whole thing we have going on. He like, I can't be.
Nigga, what?
Now, I have a lot to say about that video, but to my audience, I want to know what y'all got to say about that. Producer, drop that link, please. I thought that was a wild statement. Now, what I'm trying to work on is not jumping to conclusions when I see videos, because it sounds like he was sincere in what he was saying, but I thought that was wild as fuck. But also, I don't know, Ron. I kind of understand his logic. I I feel like I saw a little bit more of the interview, and he was saying that if you don't know, if you're unfamiliar with him, that is the younger brother of Omarion. And he said that he had never had a positive male role model in his life. So if she wanted him to be a good father, they needed to break up. And also, niggas, we gonna neg. We gonna find a way out of a relationship. And you know how sometimes when you done with a person, every little thing that they do bothers you. Like one person, I'm not gonna say who it is because I still have to keep contact with that person, semi. But I remember I was sitting there and I was looking at her and I was like, bitch, I hate the way you chill. Shit annoys the fuck out of me. I was taking care of her while he was taking care of her kids, so I'm cool with it. Corey, on some kind of level, I knew that was going to be your comment. Soon as the video played, I was like, he's going to have something to say about that, and he's not going to be mad. But part of being a good dad would be being a good man, says boyfriend, says husband. Your kids are watching you. Ron, I disagree. I don't think being a good dad has anything to do with your relationship with that person. Now, I said that to say, me and my daughter's mother, through a majority of my daughter's life, have not been together. Now, when I say a majority, I'm gonna say me and my daughter's mother broke up right before my daughter's first birthday. My daughter never knows us to be together. That never really affected the way I parented my daughter with her mother. We've had disagreements, but the same disagreements we had would have been the same disagreements we had we been together, because we never had a disagreement based on somebody I was dating. I hate this nigga. But I I don't think that your relationship status with that other person has anything to do with raising a good child. My daughter has seen me date other people. She's seen me have disagreements with y'all gotta explain to me how it makes it better. Now, my bias, well, I can't even say a bias because I grew up in a two-parent household, and I'll say that watching my parents interact when they've had disagreements, when they've had good times, when things was like at a rough patch, it showed me how to navigate through relationships. But I don't necessarily think that that has anything to, well, nah, I think I'm being a hypocrite on that one. But I don't necessarily, let me read Ryan's comment before I finish my statement. While you're in a relationship with the person you have a child with it, absolutely would, especially with daughters. They're literally taking in taking in everything they see you do with their mom and accepting. Um, it is a it it is a the bar for their relationships in the future. Um, I agree and disagree. Yes, it can be a bar for how they see what they want in a man going forward, but also if you're not in a relationship with the with their parent, they're still going to sit there and look at you as a father and use that as a baseline for what they want growing up. So I don't agree that you have to be in a relationship with the kid's parent to see that. I don't agree with that at all. Producer, drop the link because they seem like they got a lot to say. Well, hello
Hey
there, miss.
everybody. What's up?
How's it
Hey,
going?
Everything is everything. I'm so thankful to be here. Thanks for putting me up in the chat room. But you put up one of my favorite artists' brother, and that's a very deep statement that he was saying about fatherhood. I know
Wait,
in
wait,
a
wait. Time out, time out, time out. Before you even get started,
okay.
Omarion is one of your favorite artists?
One. Yes. I love him because he's an author. Because he writes books about meditation and how to channel out bullshit. You know, whatever's bothering you, he teaches you how to tune into yourself, how to meditate, how to do yoga. So I am inspired by that.
You
Be
know,
That's
I can
just one of
understand
my
that.
favorite out of
I
all artists because he continuously writes books and he also does um inner deep thinking groups. So yeah.
that sound like the sunken place.
You said that sound like the what?
That sound like the sunken place.
The second place? I mean, he's trying to channel out shit that bothers him in the entertainment industry. So you're
I
thinking
can
about this,
understand that.
thinking about you're an entertainer, you never have a chance of having privacy. Like you never can be by yourself. How would you cope with that?
I mean, I understand because I be out and they be like, yo, they go in money from the in money experience. I'm like, yo, chill. I'm just trying to have dinner.
I know, but you're a celebrity now. Mind you, you got paparazzi. Now you got the paparazzi following you wherever you want, wherever, like to the bathroom. You could be walking down the street, and then all of a sudden it's a parade of cameras. Now, how would you cope with that?
I
And
know. They be like,
that's
can
one
I
of the
take a
things.
picture with you? And I just be like, all right.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I mean that's one of the books I read was his brother is Orion, which the video you just showed. His his brother Omarion, they both look alike. And so when I saw the video of Orion, I automatically think Omarion because
Right.
they both favor each other. If one walked in the room, I would be able to say I would be confused because they look that much alike. I would be like, "That's Omarion," but it's
But
not.
in regard to what he said, do you think that he was wrong?
I mean, as a human, I don't think he's wrong. I don't think he's politically correct either. So, in my eyes, the question that they had asked him could have been, a switch and bait kind of question, because to him, being an entertainer and then being a father is two separate things. Being a father and being an entertainer shouldn't go hand in hand.
Well, so the question was very direct. It wasn't like a misleading question or anything. It was kind of like, what happened between you and Janae Aiko? And he basically said, you know, I was the person that broke up with her. I said
Mhm.
that I couldn't see myself being able to be a good father and maintaining a healthy relationship with you. Basically, choose one or the other. You're choosing to have this child, which is okay. But
Mhm.
I don't think I could be a great father because I don't think I could be a great father and a boyfriend because great being a great father is going to take, now I'm paraphrasing now, being a great father is going to be a lot because I've never had a great male individual in my life.
Mhm.
So now I have to kind of work harder at that, and I think it's going to take the attention away from my relationship. Paraphrasing, but that's basically what I took from the conversation.
Yeah, and I say that him. I really don't know. I know she's a famous singer, well known, and I know that they might not see eye to eye, right? But the thing is, you mix business, right? You mix business with a well-known singer. Like,
Right.
so that's number one. Is you guys are in the studio, guys are flirting, getting to know each other well. And
What do you mean
now
guys are flirting?
I'm saying like you guys had they had a baby together, right? They had a baby together.
Oh, you're talking about him and her.
Him and her, yeah, they had a baby together. She said, "I call it bullshit." I mean, they had a baby together now. They're working together at the same time. They're working together and in a relation at the same time. So I feel like that right there should you shouldn't mix business with pleasure and involve your kids at the same time because fatherhood doesn't have anything to do with entertainment.
Now, looking at what
Entertainment is
Corey,
just entertainment. Fatherhood is separate from that. Because
so
when you
looking at what Corey said, niggas out here doing that every day, be for sure. I mean, now one thing I will say is like, unfortunately, I'm one of the like few people in my generation that have had that grew up with both parents in the household. But also I've seen my cousins that grew up without their fathers in the household, or some of them with absent fathers also become great fathers. Now, they may not have been perfect, but what I will say is I call bullshit on the part of you saying I can't be a good father. Also, you knew how it felt not to have a positive role model in your life. I mean, he appears to be a pretty all right person. I can't speak too much on him because I don't know that much about him, but
Mhm,
I've never heard him in the headlines. So I'm going to assume that you're somewhat of an upstanding individual. You knew how it felt not to have a father present in your life.
mhm.
So you could channel that energy into making your child a better person. Now, the other thing that goes along with being a parent is no parent has their baby and has it come with a manual that tells you everything you need to do. There's going to be all kinds of curveballs in raising a child. There's going to be stuff that you prepared yourself for.
Yeah,
And as the years go
yeah,
on, you'll get more of a hang of how the things go and what you should do in this situation. But there's going to be nuances that you're just not prepared for. That I mean, you just gotta. I mean, that's when you reach out to other people, say, "Hey, this happened. I don't know what to do," or you just figure it out. So I will ultimately call bullshit, but I kind of understand what he's saying at the same time.
yeah. I definitely feel for Orion because it's such hard of knowing that people know that you have a kid with a world famous singer, and automatically it could be like, well, if he's doing out on tour and doing business or something like that, it can make him seem like he's an unfit father. But like I said, you should consider the fact that he's a man first, and he takes care of his daughter first, rather than say, well, he's not loyal to his family or something like that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for checking in with us, Miss.
All
I've
right,
seen you
y'all.
in the comments a couple weeks in a row.
All
Appreciate
right,
you
y'all.
tuning in. Thank you for joining me this
All
evening.
right.
All righty, have a good one. All right, I'm glad that I had a person in the audience that wasn't scared to step up. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great show. Like I said, had to take a week off. Baby girl prom was last week, but I'm glad y'all came to join me today. Y'all know how I like to end every episode. Live every day like it's your last, but make sure you are prepared for tomorrow. God bless and good night.